Hi, everyone, and welcome to Soul Stain Inc. My name is Beth, and I'm here today with a TBR for my week. Stay tuned to see what I'm reading. Okay, so I know I don't normally do a weekly TBR, usually it's just a Friday or weekend reads, but if everything goes correctly, and fingers crossed we have no emergencies and I stay healthy, I will be allowed to go back to work on September the 3rd, so a week from tomorrow. And I decided that I wanted to talk to you guys about the books I'm hoping to at least start during my last week of maternity leave. And yes, I do know that this is only week 2, that my child will be straight up 3 weeks old when I go back to work. You don't want to see me crazy, and I will go crazy if I stay at home with her. So we're preempting that and moving right along. Over the weekend, I told you I had 3 middle grade / YA books I wanted to read. The first one was Cry at Midnight by Mavis Gulliver. I completed this book on Saturday evening. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. It's set on the Scottish island of Tiree, and it's very magical and beautiful and well written. I look forward to finding and reading book 2. So thank you again, Fiona, for suggesting this. I loved it. The next book I completed was Rising Above. This is Inspiring Women in Sports by Gregory Zuckerman with Gabriel and Elijah Zuckerman. This is 10, well, technically 11, because Venus and Serena have their own chapter together. So this is women in sports that are inspiring. Some of them I found more inspiring than others. Some of the writing was a little iffy for me. This is an uncorrected proof copy. I'm not sure where I got it from. I think they may have sent it to me 2 years ago. However, there was a lot of interesting information, and I'm going to put this in my classroom because I have a lot of kids that do a lot of things, but most importantly, I have a freshman boy who has Lyme disease, his mom, and his big sister, who is a sophomore this year. Good Lord, my child is a sophomore. I first had them when she was in 5th grade and he was in 4th grade, but that's neither here nor there. Those 3 have all been diagnosed with varying degrees of Lyme disease, and Elena Del Don, who is a WNBA powerhouse, also has Lyme disease, and her big sister is severely autistic, deaf, and blind, and she not only deals with Lyme disease while being a WNBA powerhouse, she also runs basketball camps for all sorts of differently abled people. I gave this about a 3.5 to 3.75 stars. Some of the writing was a little iffy, like I said, but I did enjoy all of the biographies. There were several basketball players, gymnasts, and Venus and Serena. And then I talked about Kezzy Jones and the Denver Dognappers. I've read the first chapter of this. It's cute. I intend to finish this hopefully today or tomorrow. It's only a couple hundred pages, and the writing's fairly big. Okay, it's 305 pages, but the writing's fairly large, and it reads pretty quickly. So today or tomorrow, I should be finishing that. So those are the books I was reading over the weekend, but like I said, I've only got about a week before I go back to work, and then it's going to be mostly audiobooks again. And I have recently discovered that I enjoy having kind of a mixture between the middle grades and the adult books. I had stopped reading adult fiction for a long time, several years worth of just reading kind of middle grade, young adult, because adult fiction seemed heavy to me. And I've realized that that is not the case at all. In fact, a lot of the time, children's and middle grade books are heavier topics than adult books. So I've got a couple in each of those categories that I'm hoping to read this week. I have 3 adult books. The first of those being The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. And yes, this one is going to be a much heavier topic than most. But it is a book that I've been hoping to read. And, I may pick it up and decide that it's not something I want to read right now. Um, I'm not sure, but I'm going to at least start it. And if I don't want to read it right now, then I'll put it aside and pick it up later. No big deal. Next, I have Take Time for Paradise, Americans and Their Games. This is by A. Bartlett Giamatti, and it's just kind of an essay on play and sports and what you can tell about people by how they approach that play in sports. I've read the first section. So far it's good, and it's short, so it's kind of dense. It's very philosophical, but I am enjoying it so far. I also have Victorian Fairy Tales, edited by Michael Newton. I believe I saw this on Jen's channel, maybe. I don't remember who I saw this on, but one of the big booktubers a couple of years ago was talking about this, and maybe Jean. Maybe anyway, it doesn't matter. I was intrigued. I had it on my Amazon book list for a while. Finally got it as a present for myself, like over Christmas, maybe last year. I don't remember, but it's been sitting there on the shelf, staring at me every time I walk past it. So I've decided that I'm going to read at least one fairy tale a day. So it will probably take me a couple of weeks. There are fairy tales. So if I only read one a day, it will take me exactly 2 weeks. I'm anticipating probably wanting to read more than one a day, but we'll see where that goes. And then I also have The Last Holiday Concert by Andrew Clements. I am not sure how I've never read this before. Andrew Clements is the author of Frindle, and this is all about like a sixth grade class that winds up having their director quit because of one of these students who kind of thinks that he's all that, and he decides that they can run their holiday concert on their own. So the director splits, and the kid that made him quit all of a sudden is going to have to be in charge of helping the class produce their holiday concert, making it the best it can be. So hopefully I enjoy that one as well. Then Elena and I are reading Scooby-Doo and You, The Case of the Angry Alligator. This is a Collect the Clues mystery. I think I've talked about them with you before, where you're reading about a mystery that they had, and they give you clues and suspects, and you have to kind of narrow it down from there. So, like, you've met a suspect when there's eyeballs, when there's a little flashlight, you got a clue, and you're trying to figure out who the perpetrator is. This is our third, and I think it may be the last one we have. We may have one more. I bought these at a comic book shop in Oklahoma City when I was there in June, and I only bought a couple thinking she loves Scooby-Doo, but I don't know if she'll enjoy these. She is loving them. She really enjoys reading Nancy Drew books with us, but she just turned 7 last Friday. So even though we've been reading Nancy Drew with her for a little while, it's still kind of arduous to get through all of that because she likes the classic original Nancy Drew, like Case of the Winding Stairway or whatever. I've been reading Nancy Drew books since I was 7, and I've suddenly lost the names of all of them, but you know what I'm saying. So these are easier for her, and I will most definitely be ordering more once I figure out, which ones we have and all that jazz. The other ones we've done 4 out of 5 stars on both of them. And then I thought I would unwrap one more of my middle grades. I've got 3 or 4 left wrapped, so I thought we would go ahead and unwrap. This is The Wild Robot. I totally forgot I owned this one. I've been looking at it at the store thinking, oh, I need to buy that. I'm so glad I didn't buy that. So I don't know much about this other than the fact that there's a robot alone in the wild. I think there's a kid. Oh no. There's animals that it befriends. I have no idea. But I've heard really good things. I've heard it's cute. There you go. All right, those are the books I'm hoping to read this weekend. I would love this week. I would love to hear from you guys. Have you read them? What do you think about them? Are they worth my time? Should I really be reading The Handmaid's Tale with a 2-week-old child in my lap? Or is it going to scare me half to death and give me nightmares when I should be sleeping every time the kid is napping, which obviously is not the case because she's napping right now and I'm talking to you. But anyway, let me know your opinions on that. Love to hear from you guys. Talk to me down in the comments. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.